Kelly from the Terra team to walk through the T101 Data Tables Quickstart, where you'll learn about data tables in a Terra workspace and how to use them to store and organize and even manipulate your data right in Terra. The Data Tables Quickstart is one of 3 tutorials based on a mock study of the relationship between middle schoolers' height and grade point average. You'll go through looking at the data in the Data Tables Quickstart, then calculating each student's grade point average in the Workflows Quickstart, and finally, you'll look at a plot of height versus GPA in the Notebooks Quickstart. We use the mock study to explain data tables, workflows, and notebooks analysis tools in Terra. The study is simple and generic to focus on the mechanics of Terra and hopefully make it easier to transfer what you learn to your own work, no matter what it is. The Data Tables Quickstart has 3 parts. First, you'll explore a student data table. Then you'll practice manipulating and adding to the table. And last, you'll get a chance to import a more realistic data table from a featured workspace. Let's get started. Once you've made your own copy of the T101 workspace, you're ready to go. It's always a good idea to read through the dashboard for a general outline of what's in the workspace. This one includes a step-by-step guide that you can click on. The first exercise starts in the data page, which you can get to by clicking on the data tab. You'll see at the top there's a student data table. You can click on the name to open the table. Data tables are like spreadsheets built into your workspace. They help you organize and manage and even access data in the cloud. For this mock study, each row is a different student and each column is a different kind of data that's associated with that student. The first column is always the unique ID. For this mock study, the student table also includes data, grades and heights for 86 middle school age students. Each row is a different student. Each column is a different kind of information. The first column is always the unique ID. Then we have the first name, the grade for language arts, for math, science, the student's grade, and way over here on the right, the height. As an aside, you can include as many rows of data and columns of metadata as you need for your study, right in the table. In this exercise, we'll work through some of the ways you can manipulate tables right in Terra. This is a little bit more data than I want to see, so to clean it up, I'm going to click on Settings. I can hide some data, and I can move the data around by dragging and dropping. That's more like what I want to see. You can search within the table by typing in the search field. It'll surface entries that include that field. There's also a search between all tables. If we had more than one table, I could type a name in here and it would tell me if that name was in a different table. To change a single field of data, like if I spelled the name wrong, click on the pencil icon right inside the cell and type the name. Notice you can include different types of data in a cell, like a string, a reference to another row, a number, or a Boolean variable. You can add a row by clicking on the Edit button and clicking Add Row. Add the student ID, and you can type in each value. I'm a great student, so I'm going to give myself a 4.0 across the board. You can see it adds the row right here. Then if you want to delete the row, select it, and under Edit, delete selected rows. Terra always checks to make sure you mean that. You can add a column by clicking the Edit Data button and adding a column. You can specify what's in the column or whether the column includes an array of values. And then to delete it, click on the three-dot action icon, delete column. Feel free to explore some more, but hopefully you have a feel for the ways you can manipulate data table in the workspace. There are some times when you may want to run an analysis on the same subset of the data many times, like if you're testing a workflow or if you just have a small subset to look at. Selecting manually every time is tedious and leaves you prone to errors, but Terra has a way to define particular subsets. We're going to create a set in this exercise that you're going to use in the workflows section. First, sort the students by ID, or make sure they're sorted by hovering over the arrow in the student ID column. And then select the first 8 students. Click on Edit Data and save selection as set. So I'm going to recommend student subset with 8 students. When you do that, you notice there's a new table. If you click on this table, it only has 2 columns. The first column is the name of your set, student subset 8, and the second column shows the student IDs from the student table of the students that are in your subset. We're going to use that in the Workflows Quickstart. I'm just going to quickly mention there are 2 other special kinds of tables in the Workspace data page beside input data tables. First is reference data, which is right here in the middle of the left-hand column, where you can add a bunch of different preloaded genomic reference data for easy reference. We're not going to use this data for the mock study, but it may be useful if you're doing some genomic analysis. You can add the references that are available by clicking the Import Data button and selecting the reference you want. A third kind of data is called Workspace data, and it's under the Other Data section. It's a special table for keeping workspace level files and variables you might want to use to analyze regardless of input. Examples would be Docker files, CSV stored in external buckets, or reference data not available in the pre-configured options. This workspace doesn't have any workspace data, but you will see one in the Workflows Quickstart. Now that you've had some hands-on practice with mock data from the Quickstart study, you might be interested in looking at what a more realistic data table looks like, the kind you might actually use in Terra. To do that, you can go to the Featured Workspaces under the Library menu from the main navigation. The Featured Workspace library has dozens of curated workspaces that include analysis tools and downsampled data sets. You can filter or search for a workspace that's interesting to you and look at the data page. I'm going to look at GATK, germline preprocessing. Looks good. So if you go to that workspace and look in data, see there's a participant table, a sample table, and a sample set table. You can import to your own workspace by clicking on the table menu. Export to workspace. Click on the copy button and Terra will move the table to your own workspace so you can play with it. That's the end of the T101 Data Tables Quickstart tutorial. The next tutorial in the series is the Workflows tutorial, where you'll learn how to set up and run a whittle to calculate the total GPA of the students by averaging their course GPAs. If you want, you can skip ahead to the T101 Notebooks Quickstart to see how to plot the results and determine if height and grades are correlated for these middle school students. Thanks for watching.